You are not going to believe what just happened with Fani Willis down in Georgia. So Fani Willis has been mostly out of the news because that case is dying quickly. I mean, it's dead for now. It could be resurrected if the Georgia Court of Appeals, the appellate court, weighs in, when they weigh in, if they say, you know what, she shouldn't be disqualified. The lower court had it right, and this case can now be revived. Then they're still going to have to go through the immunity evaluation that I just discussed in connection with the New York case. But in any event, right now it's dead as her DQ goes up on appeal, the decision not to DQ her. Well, one of the interesting things is she testified, and so did Nathan Wade, that their relationship, their affair ended a year prior to all of this. Like they understood at some point before they got in trouble, it wasn't appropriate, and they cut it off. And what happened was in late August 24th, her daughter got, I think, forgive me, but I think she was arrested for having a suspended license. Because what we see in the video I'm about to show you is the mom, Fani Willis, show up, and the daughter's not there. And the cop is explaining to her that the daughter, who is pregnant, has been, I think, taken away. That's what I heard, because she'd been pulled over for allegedly using a cell phone behind the wheel. And then they found that she had an earlier run-in with a law that had not yet been resolved. And that's how they wind up arresting you. She'd been on the phone with Fani Willis, reportedly. And I guess her license had been revoked a few months earlier. She said she was unaware of that. In any event, this kind of thing can happen. This isn't about the daughter and whatever her traffic issues are. This is about the fact that Fani Willis comes to the scene. And guess who got out of Fani's car with her and dealt with the officers? Ladies and gentlemen, here they are together, the dynamic duo, Nathan Wade and Fani Willis.
I'm Dad, what's your name?
Okay. Nice to meet you.
So, Corporal Clark.
Nice to meet you. What?
So, apparently,
Nice to meet you.
apparently her license is suspended. Driving on a suspended, basically a traffic citation. She's got to have her fingerprints done, a picture taken, then she can make her bond.
There they are. Yes, indeed. By the time Willis and Wade pulled up, the daughter was already en route to the county jail. I think this is fast. Look, I know they could still be friends. I don't drive around with my male friends. And when a kid got in trouble, I certainly would not be, these two are still together. That's my strong opinion. And they never weren't together. They've been together the whole time. I believe it's yet another incident of perjury for them to have gotten up there and falsely claimed that they hadn't started this affair back in 2019, long before she brought him in. And they lied when they said they had broken up because they're running around together, putting out fires with the daughter, super casual in the car. That's my take, Glenn. What do you make of the whole thing?
Megyn, have you ever seen in all your time as a lawyer or as a journalist a prosecution blow up in the face of a district attorney more than this one? The whole proceeding has been a joke. When she would go on the stand and she would be asked about the vacations they took together and one of them paid, and she would say, oh no, we split the charges. Well, where's the proof of that? Oh, I have a ton of cash in my house. I don't know if you know this, but Black people are taught to have cash in their house, so I paid him in cash. The whole thing has been a joke from the start. Everyone understands that she's been lying. And I think this goes back to what we were just talking about in New York too with Alvin Bragg, which is when you have these cities that have one party rule and you have all this power in the hands of, very powerful people. Being a prosecutor is a very powerful position. The district attorney, there are no limits on it. And they begin to think that they can do whatever they want without consequence. And yeah, maybe it's a gigantic coincidence that she happened to be having lunch or dinner with her friend who used to be her boyfriend, who decided to go help her out with her daughter. But in general, that is not the way things happen, especially given the public scrutiny that you're under. And even the whole attempt to go to the scene as the district attorney to intervene in the daughter's case seems to be throwing her weight around as well. And I just think it reflects on the entire mentality that has governed the prosecution, just like in New York, of the case in Atlanta from the very start.
Yes, our old friend Phil Holloway is the one who tweeted this out and caught my attention with it, but it was broken by the Daily Mail. And once again, we get an update on these two that doesn't reflect well on them. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the manifesto, and this is important, the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, ABC News, Associated Press, no reporting on the Tennessee Star story in the manifesto. Nothing. Nobody's picking up that huge exclusive and even reporting on it. Never mind reporting honestly about, what they found. It's actually just absolutely gross. So they don't want that out there. And when that story about Fani and Nathan first broke, we covered it here on the show. Yes, we covered the story in depth, but we covered also the New York Times' reaction on their daily podcast, which was like, seems like a nothing burger. This kind of isn't anything. And it wasn't until she really started to get in legal trouble down there for this very serious allegation that they were like, oh, who could have seen that coming, right? And we were laughing at them with our audience. Like, all of us saw that coming. We've been talking about it for weeks. And I mentioned earlier, here is NPR on the Hunter Biden laptop story when it first broke. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. And we don't want to waste the listeners and the readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. So there you have it. They don't think the Hunter Biden laptop is news. They don't think Fani and Nathan is a thing. They didn't think that until the whole case got killed. And we were proven right? Those of us who believed, it's a thing. This is actually deeply problematic. And they apparently don't think the manifesto is a thing either, Glenn. That's today's corporate media.
Go and compare how much attention those media outlets you just mentioned lavished on not just the Buffalo shooters manifesto, but the attempts to blame people like Tucker Carlson for having inspired the killing based on absolutely nothing, and compare it to their ignoring of the manifesto of this trans killer. It will tell you all you need to know. Remember, Megyn, in 2020, I was at the media outlet that I founded, and I wanted to write about the revelations of the Hunter Biden laptop because the one thing I've done in my career is work with very large archives, and I know how to authenticate them. I knew from the start that archive was authentic and genuine. It was very easy to prove using the same standards you authenticate other archives. And I was prevented from publishing stories about the revelations of that laptop because the week earlier, the Intercept where I had worked printed the CIA lie that it was Russian disinformation. I saw from the inside how willing they are to abandon basic journalistic values in pursuit of a political agenda, especially after 2016 when they felt like part of the media, felt like part of the media for doing their jobs of reporting on Hillary was what was to blame for Trump's victory. And they decided we're not going to make that mistake again.
You didn't vote for this economic downturn, right? But you could be paying for all of it at the pump, at the grocery store, and elsewhere. Financial stress can be crushing, and one solution could be donewithdebt.com. Done With Debt created new aggressive strategies designed to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy or loans. They can stand between you and your bill collectors and negotiate with your creditors to write off balances, cut interest, and stop penalties. The best news? Done With Debt is accepting new clients right now, but you do need to hurry because some of their strategies are time sensitive and you don't want to miss out. Let Done With Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. Visit donewithdebt.com or call 1-888-322-1054 now. Chat with one of their debt relief strategists for free. That's donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Check it out now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.